See if anybody come through. So we get into some conversation. So I said I was gonna be coming through. Hope y'all doing warm. Hope y'all weather is good. And it's still chilly where I'm at. So the dampness of everything. So I hope everybody else is nice and having a good day and warm and eating good and staying, with everything that's going on. Got to turn on the news. We're gonna see who comes through tonight. If people come through, I'll stay on. If not, we'll see. I don't want to be caught out here if it's not too much going on. You know. Yeah. See what's up. But anyway, see what's happening though. It's a lot to get into. We'll see what's up. See what's going on. Somebody came through. I'll stay quiet until I hear somebody come through. So let me know that you can hear me, that you want. That's cool. What's up? How you doing? What's up with you? Let me know what's on your mind. What's up? What you want to holler about? What's up? Just got on. What's up? Good, good. Good, good. What's up? What's up, Ted? What's up? What's up? Let's get into it. Golden State Lakers last night. What's your thoughts? What's up? What's up? What's up? Got to hear from LTW. Tell me where you coming from. We talk about a little bit of everything. What's up, Ted? Holler at me about them Lakers last night. What happened? Golden State. Draymond. What's up? What's up? Don't get tired. Don't get tongue tied. I know AD wasn't there, but Draymond hitting shots. Clay looking good off the starting. Steph throwing some dimes last night. What's up? No, I don't. What's up, man? Amen, amen. Yeah, it was a rough game for you because the spreading was bad. Okay, what's up? What's up? I know when he making shot when he's making shots like that, you're not going to win. That was crazy. I haven't seen. Okay, be honest. As long as I've been watching Draymond, oh man, I got to go back like what 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I haven't seen him shoot like that. And I don't even think. Stop me if I'm lying. I don't think he could do that. I know I had to knock that one off. I don't even think he could do that playing Nerf hoop in his living room by himself for an hour. I was like, wow, he was on it. If he can get 10 points and keep his attitude in check, and Clay does Clay, and they get anything out of Wiggins, they're gonna be tough, you know. But I mean, Steph is still, Steph's passing game was what shocked me. Like he hit some. I mean, it wasn't shocked because I talked about it. He gets underrated for his dime game, but he was on fire last night with his passes last night. I mean, that people forget he can handle the rock. They forget passes was on point last night. They were on point last night, so bad loss for y'all. Y'all in trouble. Well, you already know that though. Yeah, he hit the one by Rue's ear. That thing said, shoo. That was crisp. You know, that was a crispy pass. I was on point. We'll see how it turns out though. But having said all that though, I don't want to be watching sports shows talking about eighth, ninth, 10th seeded teams. That's just not where it's at. It's a disrespect. like that. Anyway, can you believe I'm catching all this hate from Michael Cooper? I did the video where I say she be Hall of Fame. I was all that. This cat's gave me a long-winded soliloquy about he don't belong and he wouldn't be able to make it today and all that. I'm like, oh God, cats be hating, yo. Yeah. I said that, I told Cat on there, I said he would be like Anthony Edwards. I said he could average like 20 points a day. I said if Larry Bird said you were the best defender he went against, and you saw Michael Cooper's style. I said translate that. You always ask me about role players. You know how you ask me? Thank you. You always ask me about role players, right? And he's a role player. But if he played today, he would be like kind of like Ant because he was long and wiry, could shoot the three, because got spring, could defend. I said he would be like, I said he could definitely be like a prototype. Like that could be, because he played, you know how you be asking me. I'm not annoyed. Sometimes, you may think I'm kind of putting it off or not. I'm not. It's just that there are no role players today. Yeah. I'm going to take that one off. I'll see what the next question is. When you ask me that, right, you got to remember, you know who the last role player I saw, Ted? You know who it was? You're going to laugh when I say this to you, too. The last role player that I saw was James Harden. Because he was a sixth man. And that was what? 12 years ago. Now, I mention that because he became a starter. He could score, he could shoot. Obviously, you saw all that, right? Hall of Famer, considered one of the 75 greatest players, all that, right? Yeah. What I was going at with that is this. The game changed because of Curry, as you know, right? So when Curry got emerged, and remember I tell you about JJ Redick all the time, then these guys started to become guys that may have been like role players became starters, and they started. It's kind of like oh God, what's his name? Oh, he played last night. He hit a three. Oh God, Eric Gordon. Eric Gordon's a good example. Eric Gordon, fool around and will start. He's a 3-point specialist. And I tell you, some of these guys benefited from Steph. Because of Steph's impact, you no longer have role players. So when you ask me about this and that, I have to go way back in the think back machine. Guys like Michael Cooper had to play with an expansion team, may have been greater players. Guys like Manu Ginobili, they don't mean the same thing no more. They got changed. See how I went from like Coop, Robert Horry, Ginobili. Now still Hall of Fame worthy, but the role play, it's not the same no more. So Kel McHale was a role player, 6 man. That's what a role player is. You're a role player when you're not a starter. That's what that basically means. It's a fancy way of saying you're a part-time worker who's expected to do full-time work if you're permittable. What's happening? But you're not a starter. That's what role play. It's just like a pinch hitter, and he gets hot in baseball, a middle reliever. It's fancy terms. You're not the starter and you're not the main dude, but you're kind of like the quicker picker up, or you're in the in-between, unless you somehow morph into that next level. That's what that means. And now in English, there ain't gonna be no more Nick Collison staying around 50 years. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, that's a good one. Ooh. That's a tough one. Great job. You hit me hard with that one. You've been thinking. You must have been like waiting all night for that one. It's gonna shock you. I got to give it to Rudy T. Because, especially with Houston, if I'm going championship to championship, no, he's not a better coach than Casey Jones. And no, he didn't have better talent. However, they had Bill Walton and Dennis Johnson, who were pickups later in their careers. Rudy T had Robert Ory. He did 3 rings there, 2 rings there, and 5 with LA, San Antonio. Enough said. Sam Cassell, 2 there, another one with Boston. Mario Ellie, there, San Antonio. My point is the styling loaned itself for more. Now, I don't remember no one that Casey had that loaned itself for more. Even though Danny Ainge did get to a finals later, but that was already, he was already playing with Bird. They were there. So the bag is showing me, showcasing more. That's all. D'Antoni. That's not for discussion because he produced MVPs. He produced MVPs. You give me results. Nelson had pre-D'Antoni, and it's a great that you do that because actually he's like a precursor in a way. But D'Antoni, all I have to do is throw Steve Nash, Lynn Sanity, James Harden at you. 7-man rotation. Now that was, it sucked in the postseason and you got to be worried burn. But that's all I have to do. The only time D'Antoni looked out of place was when he coached the Lakers. Pop. Because he got more out of his backup. He kept bringing in people. Goes back to what I said about, except Pop's a better version of Rudy T in the sense that Ginobili and Parker could start elsewhere. He kept producing guys, next man up. He already had Duncan and Robinson, but Parker and Ginobili, Bruce Bowen. I'm not gonna keep no troll on. Okay, we can disagree. Oh, we don't. We are agreeing. Well, no, but if I'm gonna play devil's advocate. If I was to say Larry Brown, this would be the criteria though. He got there with Iverson that he lost, and he got there with Chauncey where he won. He got the most out of his players. I'm gonna say this. He went from a one-man superstar team to a no superstar team and got to the finals in what? A 3-year window with 2 different situations with the same philosophy. I don't know if Pop could have done that. Remember, I told you, Larry Brown is one of the greatest X's and O's coaches, and he gets to the bottom line. He gets a puncher's chance. He's like the Rocky Balboa of coaches. He's one of those guys, you got to knock him out, knock him. He ain't going to roll over. Now, I'm not saying Pop don't do that, but Pop's got a different philosophy. But Brown, that even though he's anti-3, well, see, at the time why he was is because that wasn't prevalent. That's all. He teached more team ball. He teach more, you know. He works a lot with what he's got. I don't know too many coaches who've gotten 2 teams to the finals that depleted on talent. Just saying, and go up against the same team and coach, and you lose a series, but then you win another one. And the truth is, the Philly had one person who could have halfway kept up with Iverson or been somewhat as great as Shaq was. That series could have gone 6 or 7 games. That's a fact. Because he had the same philosophy. And they remember, they had a couple close games against the Lakers. So I hold Larry Brown in high regard because again, he doesn't usually beat himself. And the Pistons did get the back-to-back finals. He got the 3 finals in a 4-year window, 4 or 5-year window. So that's got to count for something. Just saying. Yeah. Well, now it was I forgot how he said he used it because he had hurt his hand falling, but it worked. Now, the only what was scary was that his braid scared him more than arm sleeve. But he used to do it where they were wearing like they stopped outlawed because he had everybody wearing the leg. The Wayne Wade adapted that. They was wearing all of it. They were like ballet dancers when they got through. But you know, Larry Brown coach. Okay, give me some more. This was fun. That was pretty cool. Give me some more. I'm ready today. That was a good debate. I like it when we come up with questions where you can really got to think because that was a good one. The Rudy T. Casey Jones was good. Thank you. I had to think about that. And remember, I'm not putting my feelings about who's the better coach per se. It's about what they operate with because it's not always about they two different things. What I might give a guy having a bag doesn't mean that I think he's in the same caliber or her if there's a woman in the same caliber because the bag is different. Doesn't mean I think you're a better player. I would say Rick Alderman because what he did with Portland and what he coached Sacramento, I think Carl was the better coach because he got further. You know, they both went to one final. Well, Carl went to one finals, but I think Alderman had more. It had more edge to it. It was something about Rick Alderman's style that was, you know, Sacramento. He really had a certain aura about it. I think he had a certain aura about him. I liked the way he coached. They had a certain type of harmony. And I think that when he had the bigs who could move that rock, that's what moved him. Ooh. 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 Um I gotta say Parcells. I'm gonna tell you why. Because he manipulated between Phil Simms so well and Jeff Hostetler, which kind of cancels out Dungy because Dungy did get to an NFC Championship game with Sean King. They didn't get to the Super Bowl. But I think that he always prepared him against certain teams style wise. He could utilize his styling wise. I could say his styling wise is what I have to give him the edge on. Now, Parcells never coached a quarterback like Peyton Manning. So that's hard to evaluate that. But if I'm going by, what he did, and I'm going X's and O's, I gotta say Parcells' bag had more because the defense was more. That alone. Of course, if you got Lawrence Taylor, which Dungy had great defenses, but LT was on another level. Dungy never coached a defensive player of LT's magnitude. Just saying. And Parcells got a lot out of Joe Morris. He got well, the receivers of the '90s were, they were pretty athletic. You had Irvin, you had Jerry, you had Andre Rison, you had Andre Reed, you had Freeman. You had, I don't know when I to say a bag of them because of Moss, Chris Carr. You had top flight, T.O. They were athletic. You're asking me when you say that. mm, Well, it's all subjective. Jerry Rice is going to be a carryover. Mike Irvin's going to be in that conversation. Andre Reed would be in my top five, yes, for personal reasons. Obviously, Randy Moss, T.O. Well, people may differ, but, you know, But when you're asking me about the bag, are you asking me the 90s receivers bag compared to today? Because I don't quite understand it because um, receivers were different then. Yeah, Jimmy Smith with Jacksonville, he been big. He been big in another era, you know. Um, Different era. Oh, I think most people would say Megatron. They say Moss, T.O., Marvin Harrison. That's four. And you could take Fitzgerald. What's up? If you come on, tell me who you are, where you're from, and if you have any questions. Yeah, I don't argue about AB. I like AB a whole lot. And I might forget about him when I don't talk about him because of the way he went out. But he was bad as long as you remind me. And if you're going to ask me if I want to know, his bag was quite deep because kickoff returns, his style of speed, the way he could hit and slash hit spots, he was definitely gonna be Hall of Fame bound. He was one of those can't miss dudes. It's just a shame how things went out. But we're talking about a guy who had the goods. Had the goods. Excuse me. Excuse me. Had the goods. Had all the makings of first tier. And let me see who else in the 2010s would you consider if you mention him? You talking about top five ever, or you just talking about top five for his era? Because if you're talking about ever, I can't quite give you that. I can't. I don't think that he was more had more bag than Jerry Rice. The man created the rack, so Jerry was not as fast. Would be what he could beat you in different ways. And I still haven't seen when Jerry Rice was the most complete receiver in my lifetime. Well, I'm gonna get into that. So I said Jerry Rice. If I did top 10 ever, Jerry Rice is in there. Moss, Terrell Owens, um, Marvin Harrison would be in there. Um, Mike Irvin's in there. Um, I said Steve Largent would be in there. That was a bad white boy. Who else could I pick on? Larry Fitzgerald, Stallworth would be up in there. Hmm. Not in my top 10 ever. He had a lot of bag though, because he was strong. He had a very cool bag, but it wouldn't be in my top 10. I already need about 7 or 8. Don Maynard from the Jets way back in the day would get love. Um, Maynard was a bad white boy too. Let's see, when I say larger than Maynard, that's like saying Larry Bird and Jerry West. Bad white boy. Um, I know I'm missing. Yeah, Isaac Bruce. That'd be top 10 worthy. Yeah, that's number 9 for me right there. And let me think who could make my top 10. I gotta think. Who would I pick on? Hmm. I gotta think. Hmm. You can make a case for Megatron. You can make a case for Tyreek Hill. Yeah, I think I take Tyreek over Hope. But Torrey Hope could definitely be in that 11-12 slot or something like that. There's some guys, Art Monk. Can't think of who else I'm trying to think of right now, but No, I don't look at them as all-time greats. I liked them for the time. I didn't look at them as all-time greats. You name somebody, I'll let you know if they hit or they resonate with me. But AB's one of those guys he should be in. He should be in that 12 to 20 slot. He would have been high maybe if he don't, you know. It's a shame too. Would have been higher. I just can't think of who I'm trying to think of right now. He's not in my top 12 though. I mentioned guys already. He don't crack that code. Not for me, he don't. My favorite Chargers receiver is probably Charlie Joyner, if I'm honest. Charlie Joyner was a bad dude. The most electrifying Charger receiver I ever saw was John Jefferson with the goggles. That dude was scary bad. Wes Chandler too. Played with New Orleans and the Chargers. Keenan would come after those guys for me. Those Charger teams, the A's were fire. I have to look and see who's got better statistics out of Mark Duper or Mark Clayton, because one of them guys would be in that 15, 16 range. James Lofton. So there's a lot of guys I would name before I get to, if I'm thinking. All right, now what's up? Got a question or comment? Anyway, you keep naming guys, but like I said before, there's quite a few guys I would name, but I don't have AB in that probably top 15. See, this is where it's again. It's a great question. Not gonna be the answer you want to hear. It's Shanahan. Are you talking about Kyle or are you talking about Mike? Which one are you talking about? The father or the son? Because you got to specify. Depends on which one. Which one? Mike. Yeah, I have to say Mike. The fact is, if he don't get hurt, Terrell Davis ain't gonna be that far behind Emmitt Smith because he was the reason why they won those last two rings. John Elway was a better quarterback than him, and they got a lot more out of that. They had a strong receiving core, strong defense, tight end, as you know, covered a lot, and had a great kicker. Jimmy Johnson had what we call better players, what we call high personnel and pieces. But Mike Shanahan had that thing where they were a dynasty too. People don't talk about it. I'm glad you mentioned it. Dallas had won 3, Denver won 2. Denver had been to where they lost to Dan Reeves, started 90, but they were known for being there. He did his best job in Denver. In Denver, I could say he had the bag. Nowhere else could I say he had the bag. Jimmy had great pieces, and it was all orchestrated. But Now they do make an interesting argument. They both got 2 rings. They both didn't fare too well after they left their highest high. Jimmy was marginal in Miami, and Mike was just okay in Washington. He's okay in Oakland too. So bag means who's got the more goods. It's like, for instance, let me put it to you like this, right? Okay, gratitude. Are you a music fan? Who's your favorite music artist? Now, let me give it to you in a context that maybe you can understand. Who's your favorite music artist? Give me a music artist, and I'll tell you what I'm going at with it, and I'll see how quick you respond. Because if you're not trolling, you'll tell me your favorite music artist, old or new, it don't matter. Just throw somebody out there. I'll give you an example. I just see when people don't respond, then they tell me no. Okay, so Bon Jovi, right? So, say for instance, do you like Coldplay or no? And I'm just randomly asking. Let me know if you like Coldplay or not. Ted, okay. Who's another band you like? Give me somebody else that you like. Tell me another band that you like. Because Bon Jovi tells me from back in the day, and I can do something with that. I'll put one up against the other. Feel free to chime in, Ted. Okay. Okay, so say for instance, Ted asked me who had the better bag out of Bon Jovi and Def Leppard, right? Which is a good question because they two different styles. But who showed me more versatility? Who showed me more range? Who showed me more that they could loan themselves? Actually, they got stuff in common because they both hit with the pop rock audience. They weren't heavy rockers. They were actually middle of the road rockers. These are interesting choices that you made. But if I got asked who had more to go on for them, I'd have to say Bon Jovi because Bon Jovi had a mellow thing that the audience is like. Now, Def Leppard was bigger, and you can debate who was the better band, but who showed you more versatility? Who seemed like they had more to offer? That's what the bag means. So the bag could mean, like if I reached in and said who had more better vocals, who had shown me more with their songwriting, who could go to the stage, was better live performer, who transcended. That's what the bag is. It's like showing a variation of your creativity. It's like what's in your arsenal. That's the way we're getting at it. Oh, anytime. What me and Ted started was because we start off with the basketball because actually was about LeBron James. And there was a segment where he came out and said, I don't need the offensive bag to win. I don't need it's overrated. And we both agreed that that was a bit like, are you for real? But then again, LeBron only has 2 moves. He goes a power move where he drives into you, or he's got that fadeaway and he'll shoot that long three. And he'll get the free throw line and all that. But he doesn't have an arsenal of a bag of a lot of moves. He's just not that. That's for the being an all-time leading scorer and all that. He doesn't have a big, So I put it in the music context because actually in music, but what it means, I'll tell you this. What it means, it doesn't mean that one is better than it doesn't mean that the act is better than. You can still like someone better, but the bag means is they show more wear, more goods to what you like. Actually, in music though, it kind of be a favorite. It kind of would loan itself to who you prefer more. But as in sports, it's different because in sports, we can see someone that's more versatile, but that don't mean they better. It's kind of like when people say that about Scottie Pippen over Michael Jordan. They can say, oh, he was more versatile, but they can't say he was better. They can try and they'll get laughed out. But in music, actually, gratitude, thank you. And thanks, Ted. In music, it goes with the bag, goes more hand in hand. But you know what? In movies, it don't quite work that way. Give me 2 actors and I'll tell you, like, let me think. Think of an actor that plays a whole lot as opposed to a leading man. because a guy that can do more, like in a twisted way. This is twisted when I say this because he don't compare, but I like them both in different ways. Tom Cruise is got more of a bag than Rob De Niro, even though De Niro can play different types of characters. But you'll buy Tom Cruise flying out of helicopters and Action Man than a romantic comedy, because De Niro's comedies are kind of hit and miss. Just thinking. But the problem with Giannis is that's not the problem. The problem is uh, Damian is killing his spirits off. It ain't working. He's missing Drew Holiday. It ain't working. Middleton is a one-trick pony. It ain't working. Brook Lopez ain't getting utilized. It ain't working. They're not getting much off their bench. It ain't working. That's why he's trying to offset stuff. Losing to those 2 games to the Lakers got to mess his head up too. They blowing games. They're not finishing up. They don't play defense. They don't really have good team chemistry. And they haven't really found a coach out of Budahurst. They haven't really had a head coach that can put it together. They're stuck and they don't know really what to do. That's why he's doing what he's doing. What about Samuel Jackson, JT Todu Talk? Well, nobody care about the All-Star game, but I agree with you. The 2 things can be true at the same time. I don't care about no All-Star game because that's a farce. That's why Adam Silver's hair is getting ready to grow back because he got to think of a way to get away from it now. But he shouldn't have been no starter. Not that I care about the All-Star game anymore, but you're right, he shouldn't have been no starter. But that's neither here nor there. But you did bring up a good point. What would Giannis be like right now with Brunson playing in the backcourt? Because Giannis with Brunson would be like Luka with Kyrie. I said it. Yep, I said it. Oh, yep. If you had Brunson and Giannis, that'd be like the Luka and Kyrie. And they'd be better too because in the East, they win those games. Think about it. They lost about 4 or 5 games by just choking and gagging. And they've been average since they had Doc Rivers. Be on the plus side of those games. Your behind is pushing 55 wins, maybe 60. That's what he's missing. Because if you had to lose a guy like Drew Holiday, at least get someone that can create and take the pain away from you. They haven't gotten it. That's what the problem is. And they still haven't figured out how to utilize Brook Lopez. Still, Middleton is kind of, Okay, Brother Gilliam. I mean, I'm not going to get into his choices, what he do, because I never had no problem with Kyrie's, what he felt off the court. My problem has always been on the court. Nothing about him personally. Not even the flat earth statement, which was comical, but my problem with him has been on the court because he hasn't really gelled since he left LeBron. This is the first time he didn't show me some consistency where he is gelled, and I'm glad. I am really glad. I do think Stephen A. Smith is trolling him when he says, in Africa, not in America, not legally. He's mad one wide, and I really don't get into his personal life. Kyrie's a good dude. I just have had issue with him on the basketball court. I never had no problem with him off. You're not going to ever hear me talk about him too much off the court. It's the problem with him on. Because Boston was a disaster. And Brooklyn was a disaster. No, he's a family man and he's a child. I think that's why he's happy. And he's also know he's got to be on his best behavior at this stage too. You're not going to mess this up because he may not get to play with the likes of a Luka again. So he's got to make this work. Believe me, everything that happened in Brooklyn almost took him out. Yeah, I already said that. I'm not working that game. I'm not going to, Yeah, I did that video. Did you catch it? And my video got some attention. I mean, Lisa Cabrera had bigger but I did my video though. He old, he's senile, and he came up in a different era. And that's the only thing I can say. I don't know if I want to say, well, the senile, and I hope he ain't senile, but he older, but um he came up in an era where people would say stuff like that. Some of them, not all of them, but they would use that as a crutch because the way they were, where they were with actors. No, I don't give it no pass for it. I'm just saying that's the excuse some people say that he's pushing 90. But you gotta remember something. I'll be real with you. Um, I haven't really. I liked him for back in the day and all that, but I really don't even bring him up too often. It ain't gonna do with the fluid comment or nothing. He's just not somebody that because again, he had some movies that I like, you know, charismatic cat, but I never really got the deepness of him, being honest with you, because he never spoke out on nothing. And a lot of times, a lot of these people are Hollywood folk. So I don't have no expectations. I don't give no excuses. And sometimes it's best if you don't say nothing. I think you're way cooler than you are than if you do. So sometimes you're better off if you don't say nothing. Which one did you hear about? Because I've been hearing about Taco Bell. You know why though? They cutting down them. They trying to cut their employees. I thought what it is. They don't want to pay that $20. That's what's up. That's what's up. They don't want to pay. And to be honest with you, fast food, they should have been paid. They should have been paid a lot more money. Yeah, it's cheaper that way. They don't have to pay them no money. I don't know which generation it's going to be, but it's going to be one generation of workers that won't be a job opportunity no more. That's going to be a lost art. That's not going to be a summertime gig or a regular gig. Yeah. Yeah, they'll hire them. What they'll do, they will hire folk, but they're not going to hire folk that look like, They want the folks that don't say nothing. They'll take those gigs. That's what I see going on. Mm-hmm. That's what they'll do. I know it's coming. It's inevitable because it's cheaper to have the robots. You keep on talking. Yep. Somebody else doing robots too. But yeah, well, when they started the DoorDash and you know, takeout and all that, that's what ended up happening. So it's almost inevitable. Hmm. A lot of them are, not all of them, but a lot of them are anti. But I don't know if they love acceptance in the culture. That's what they love. They love that fake sense. Yeah, we talked about that already. Where you been? We had that conversation. You in trouble too. You better win your last two road games, and I don't know if they're going to be a guarantee because you got to go play the Pelicans after Memphis. I don't know. You also got to be very careful because you can't afford no one to get hurt. You're in a catch-22. I think if you'd have beaten Minnesota or Golden State, you may rest it. You can't afford to rest now because you very much could be in a playing tournament, and you got to be very strategic if AD comes back. Boy, you old and you're in trouble. I don't know. I don't know. Darvin Ham better be careful. He could be in trouble because we were from America. That's right. And if you don't like it, no one told you to come through the comment. Same could be said about your sports. We didn't grow up like you did. No one asked you for your thoughts about it. Glad you know how you feel about it. Guess you won't be coming to America no time soon to try. Could say the same thing in America too. Why can't you do like what we do? But it ain't it funny in basketball and baseball, they have people from all over the world that play professional sports in America. Ha! Huh. As for football, I don't think too many people want to play American football because you get hit. Have a linebacker 250 pounds coming at you and see what you think. It's not that easy. It's a brutal sport. But people always come in here and always want to be trolling. Got something to say? Don't like nothing, but sure want to know that why the American aspect of it is. Hmm. Cool. All right, Ted, say something because I don't want to be stuck here. Got somebody being all bitter and sourpuss. Four big guys. I don't know what that means. Take that off. Yeah, I know you're excited about it. You know how I feel about it. I don't make a big deal about it until we get to till I see what teams go. You did ask me about JJ McCarthy, and I had a chance to like really look at some things today. I had some footage I checked out. So I'm glad you did. I looked at him. It depends on where he goes. I think who did I heard the Patriots are looking at him. Somebody was saying the Raiders, I'm not for sure. But again, it depends on where he goes. I can't again, I hate to he should be a top tier consideration, but again, it depends on where you go. I know you're gonna come at me and say, well, you were more straightforward about with Mahomes and you were more straightforward about Lamar, how you felt, and even Deshaun. Well, they to me, they were special players. I gotta see somebody that I go, okay. Can't go by. That's why I'm more with Caleb because I'm more curious because the hype and everything, what he do. I can't really tell with McCarthy because Harbaugh's system is so different till I see a guy go to the pros. Not saying he couldn't play and throw because it's going to be interesting. But I can't even tell you that you want to talk about Mahomes, Watson, and I talk about Lamar, especially those first, especially when I talk about Mahomes and Jackson. I didn't know they're going to be those kind of players. So, because again, it usually takes guys about 4 or 5 years before they turn out. Lamar turned out. We just got to do it in the postseason. And of course, you know about Mahomes. I ain't got to say nothing about him. Deshaun, jury's still out. Don't know what's going to happen. I think this coming year is going to be his make or break, though. I do believe anything less than the postseason, they probably going to pull a plug on him. Just saying. So, all right. Amari, what's up with you? Feel free to tell me what's on your mind. Let's talk. I wait for someone to throw some conversation. It's been kind of slow. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Oh yeah, good. Thank you, Scar89 for that. Yeah, that well, Nickelodeon and this situation is real. And you know who's tied to a lot of that is Nick Cannon, who happens to be at the center of a lot of stuff because he used to work there. I'm sure that's going to hit the airways. 2024 is going to be given up because he white and it's not seen as a real problem. They got everybody worrying about Puffy. And they don't go after everybody the same complexion for the protection. Now, I'm going to tell you like this. Like, I like the R. Kelly musically and all that. Not condoning what's alleged. But they don't treat white and black the same, and they don't make a big deal about the same. It is racial dynamics. And they pick who they want to pick and how they do it. Okay, so Seth Family Barbecue pet peeves. I haven't really ever had any problems at them. Most people tended to be on the, because I never dealt with anyone drinking any alcohol. I was fortunate that way. Well, you said a lot, JR. So everybody just comes out to grab everything and get their hands on. That's what it comes down to. If there's fur coats, if there's money, there's jewelry, that's what you got worried against. Somebody died, everybody's got their hands on there. What's happening? What's happening? People want stuff. They come out the woodwork. People you ain't seen relatives in 30, 50 years. They see you, they feel entitled. That's what's up. Um, yeah, I mean, usually they don't hold white accountants the same as they do black. Ted, where you are? Dutch asking for you. Paige and Ted. Sometimes he'll be on and then he'll stop. And then other people will come on. So I don't know. He goes back and forth. I'm sure he'll emerge. I'm sure he'll emerge with a question or comment. There you go. I want the questions to keep on coming. So if y'all want to talk, let's do it. Let's do it. Whatever you want to talk about, bring it on. But I want to keep it hot. We were talking about the dude from Nickelodeon was talking about how come he wasn't locked up with Nickelodeon because there's been Austin Kutcher is friends with Puffy. He was friends with Danny, the Danny Madsen, the one that got in trouble. That 70s show got locked up. Austin Kutcher was part of talking about trafficking, and there's a lot of stuff he's involved with. A lot of things with Mr. Kutcher. Well, the only problem with BLM is that it seems like it's been a profit organization that really isn't giving back to the community. He probably has. Kutcher was a young, fresh white boy in the industry, if you go back. And one of the reasons why they keep him around is because he's clean shaven. Look at his imagery. He was messing with Demi Moore. They were married. And his wife was underage on that 70s show. You never know. I don't put nothing past nothing. But I think it's been going on with something because he was a fresh face white. Well, he was around before Puffy blew up, I believe. I got to think about it because, I always look at him as a third tier actor. I remember he did, Guess Who? He did that movie with Bernie Mac. That was like 20 plus years ago. Yeah. So, all depends. But he been around a long time, but I ain't never really thought he was top tier. He just one of those guys. I never heard about Timberlake. Timberlake and that Lou Pearlman, no, that's another story. Nothing about Timberlake and Diddy, but Timberlake with Lou Pearlman, that used to be the manager. Anyway, can a white man be the greatest rapper ever? Well, if it's up to you. Some people may think that about Eminem. I mention him because he's the only obvious choice that someone would say. I don't think nobody else is going to mention any other white rappers. No one's going to say MC Search from Third Base. No one's going to say, you know, I wouldn't think that a white man would because it is black creation, and I wouldn't think a white man would because you can debate his impact and then you can debate what black rappers' impact. And is he really that more distinctive than what has been before and since? You put your debates on. Duh. Yes, they do. Nas is great. Yeah, Nas was great. I mean, I take Nas over Eminem today and twice on Sunday. I think the USA provides a lot more for anybody that's not black, if you want my honest opinion. If you must know. Yeah, everybody has a bias. We all have a bias. Everybody. That's a great question, Dutch, and it's true. If I do a new segment on my podcast or my broad stream, I'm biased because I'm going to promote it from a certain agenda. And unless I tell you that I'm doing it general, you're going to be biased based on your race. You're going to be biased based on your culture. You're going to be biased based on your feelings and sentiments. And when you work for a news outlet, they have an agenda. Now, they can report the news, but they're going to still report in a way that you know that they're pushing an agenda. Well, they don't want to talk about certain countries for different reasons. They don't want to make it sound like you got to be in fear, even though you kind of got to kind of wonder because there's spies everywhere. There are people that are in cahoots with different groups, and there are people that will invade the weak minded. So it's fair game. And there will be a time when it's going to go straight to game and you're not going to know when it's coming because that's what's up. Of course I would. Why wouldn't I? I'd take over most anybody over Trump. Anybody, pretty much. You asking the wrong person because Trump would be the last person. He might be, but I'll take him over Trump. Let's see. I've got a buck dancer or I got a racist bigot. Which am I going to choose? And which one am I going to choose that ain't getting themselves in trouble with the law every day? More importantly, because if I have to use more morals, at least Obama got morals. At the end of the day, he got that. I already told you this already. Have you forgotten? You don't watch my videos. I told you the man is racist. It's been proven. He's disloyal. He's broken the law. He's got top information data in his portfolio. Look up his situation and get back to me, okay? When you ask me why I dislike a man that's got 91 felony charges against him, yeah, well, that's enough. Oh, yeah, and by the way, COVID-19, he was a reckless leader. That's why he lost the election. That's why he lost to Joe Biden. Not because some people were, okay, I know, but I'm just telling you, I do videos about it. I cover a wide range. If you watch my videos on my channels, I cover a wide range of topics. Because you know what? We live in an intertwined world. We live in an intertwined world. We're not one-sided. Trump was a sports owner. New Jersey Generals USFL football 40 years ago. He put himself in the personal media, the Miss America pageant. So show business, entertainment, artistry, it runs in his universe. So it's fair game. It's not just a one-sided thing. Yeah, you probably, well, no, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt Seth, on that because he ain't from here, but I do have to enlighten him because, for instance, when I do my videos, Dutch, if you watch my channel, right, I cover a wide range of topics. I cover a wide range of subjects. Donald Trump fits into when I cover sports, music, because I'm going to tell you why. He had a reality TV show. That's TV. He was a football owner. He almost bought my favorite football team, the Buffalo Bills. He had association with Michael Jackson, music, entertainment, had artists perform in his casino, hung out with Puffy. He hung out with rappers. So it's not like when I mention someone like him, it's not like I'm mentioning somebody. Yeah, he did. Yeah, well, it's true. You look up Trump's history. He hung out with, he's not, like when you see photo ops with some people in the presidency or they hang out, like Obama hang out with Jordan. Obama shoot. Obama got an affiliation with Beyonce. You know how Michelle Obama loves Beyonce. These ain't and Bill Clinton was the one that really started that with the entertainer and, kind of made that real popular. Because used to be some old fogey cat in the White House. You remember when Bush Sr. was in the White House? He said, you want to be like U2 and Boy George, when he mixed up Bono with Boy George and U2. And I thought, oh, man, you're really out of it. No, I'm defending you. I'm defending you. So listen to me. I'm going to defend you. We talk about it from across entertainment sectors and politics, because politics and entertainment kind of go hand in hand in America. So it might not be that way in everywhere. So I'm just trying to, I'm not going to damn you because you don't know. Yeah, well, ours is too. But what I'm saying is we have cross continent. So like if an artist, Michael Jackson used to go to the White House all the time, but I didn't really think that him and the Reagans or Bush, he got with Clinton, that's one thing. Didn't think that it really, to a certain type of folks, was there. Well, I'm going to elaborate with you. Don't worry about him. I'm going to elaborate with you. Well, no, Trump been around with it. Now, see, 40 years ago at the USFL, when he ran the New Jersey Generals, he had Herschel Walker as his running back, Doug Flutie as his quarterback. Charlie Steiner, the bearded one who used to be on ESPN, was one of his announcers. So Trump has had a foot and a placement with entertainment. Remember when Steve Harvey messed up on that Miss America pageant a few years ago when he called out the wrong country? Trump was the one that was running that show. Trump had his Apprentice show. So when you factor in a TV reality artist person, he was on an episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He did cameos in movies. He got to rub shoulders with Hollywood. Well, there's a lot of politics involved, Dutch. So yeah, not arguing with that, but yeah, they real funny. They're real funny over here. But anyway, my point was that Ted knows what I'm talking about. We're not. We don't. We can lump them all. We lump it as like one. So, for instance, if you're paying attention to the surviving R. Kelly or your saw Harvey Weinstein, if you're watching any of the stuff that's going on with Puffy or Bill Cosby, it's usually tied in with the government and the Hollywood entertainment industry. When they bring the feds involved and homeless, all this other stuff, that's all tied together. It's not like this make believe world where they're just going after them without somebody tipping them off because it's all connected. Actually, it's always been connected because if you knew anything about Charlie Chaplin, he got thrown out of America because of his films and his stances and so on. Because Chaplin would have a hard time being in America now, especially if the Me Too movement was after him, because he liked them young girls too. But just saying, it depends. No, I mean, I thought he was a pimp when I was a kid. I thought he was a pimp. Changed his shoes, his clothes. Good morning, boys and girls. And guy cleaned up and it's like, get some aftershave and he's all clean. I thought, what's he macking? No, I had no problem with protesters. Not, I loved it, even though I thought Bert and Ernie were, but I loved it though. I got no pet peeves about no childhood shows because they represent that time, and I loved it. But that's another time, another place. Of course, you look at it with different eyes as you get older, or you become a parent, or you might pick up some subtleties or some things. But at the time, it was cool. I used to watch Fat Albert every Saturday. I watched that before I watched Soul Train and Bandstand. That was my Saturday ritual. Beep 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 baby. I love that show. No, it's not banned. It's legalized here in most places. It should be. It should be legalized. I'm not condoning it, but it should be legalized. Nobody should be doing no 50-year bid for smoking joints when people have murdered and done other more heinous crimes. You know. Yep. I'm not saying it's. I agree, but I don't think nobody should be doing no 20-year bid for personal use. I'm just saying. I have problems with the laws passed, and they making money off of it now. You got little old white ladies who are librarians selling it from making money off of it. It's government accepted, so NRA and it's addiction, but they know what's going on. It can, but anything that you're addicted to can. Well, they selling it legally now because they have like a certain amount of where it's allowed to be sold. I don't know if they. I don't think they deserve it because what they'll do is they'll make sure that people snitch who did it. Okay. What's happening? Weed is legal in Ohio. Weed is legal in a lot of places in the states. Um, because now with people who have like autism or on the spectrum or something, it's used as a combative form to relax and stimulate. So people use it for medicinal purpose, for some people use it for psychological, some people use it for glaucoma. And they dealt back in the day when I was growing up because you know why? Because the cops are in on the take. That's why. There's always somebody that has to pay somebody. They're not just doing it without somebody being on the take. Don't ever go for the, oh, we get to do this out in the open without somebody knowing. They got cameras and lights on people. Yep. They got a watch on people. Somebody's getting tipped off a bag and some cash. Yeah. So okay, I like how you just came out the blue. I didn't even know you were on, but okay. Now this is what I'm gonna have to laugh at you, DP. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? We have judges bought and paid for, lawyers bought and people bought and paid for all the time. I'm gonna say this to you. Don't take this the wrong way, but read some stuff about America or about Europe and bribery and get back to me. That way you won't be surprised. Because it's old as time. Well, I'm good that you're gonna get what get your rights back. No, you don't want to go to courts. I always say that all the time. You don't want that. You got kids involved and all that. You don't want all that. They all pay off the judges. It's a very bad stereotype because when you think America did, they're not wealthy. There's a handful of people that's really got money. It depends on how you define wealth. Now there are people who get to put clothes on every day and have a roof over their head and eat. And then there's people who get to make decisions and you know. But yeah. But no, America is bought and paid for like any other place. You have politicians who are bought and paid every day. Your last name counts for things. Your skin color counts for things. You know, what you can prove counts for things. There's a lot. Well, Dutch, again, you haven't really understood about America. We have ghettos and slums. We have a thing called Section 8 projects. Yeah, they come out the woodworks. A lot of people don't understand what America goes through. It's a very racially divided country. I would trying to tell you the best way I can. I can't speak for everybody with it. However, when I usually speak about it, there ain't gonna be people gonna disagree with me. It is a racially divided country with 400 plus years. And I'm gonna tell you something. Any country that was built off of slavery is gonna have a house divided. It's never gonna be free. Because black people only had civil rights. They've only had civil rights since 1964, which was passed. Voting rights in 1965. Being able to marry outside of their race in 67. So black folks have not really had, you can go back to someone that's a relative of yours at 70, 75, and they saw whites only signs, okay? So I wouldn't exactly call America the most progressive place. We had Jackie Robinson. We had Jackie Robinson break the baseball color line in 1947. That's less than 80 years ago. Well, in America, we have low-income housing. We have things that are geared towards. Yes, have you heard about the racial segregation that America had called Jim Crow? Have you heard about what we went through over here? When you talk about what's going over there, have you heard about what's going over here? Did you know about the Civil War that was fought? And how slave owners got to keep the money, but folks were still slaves over here in America. They still had racial plantations up to the 60s in America. Did you know about that in the South? Did you know about separate water fountains for black people, 50s and early 60s in America? Did you know? Theaters. What's up? And I'm not saying, and I'm going to tell you something. We've had a lot more in common with South Africa than it's told. The only difference is that somehow because people look at yep, yep, yes. Can you go do some reading, please? Because it's getting to be a bit much for me. You don't read. I understand where you're from. It was a law. They had sidewalks back in the 50s. I'm doing okay, Alex M. They had laws against the sidewalk. You couldn't walk on the sidewalk of a white person in the 50s in America, okay? They did not want you reading the books. They did not want you going to the same schools. They didn't want you drinking the same water fountains. They didn't want you going to the same movie theaters. They didn't want you using the same restrooms, okay? My grandmother on my father's side, who was pretty light complected woman, was down south, had to go to the bathroom. They told her to go in the bushes. This was in 57, 58 in Alabama. Okay? So, wasn't that long ago. I have relatives that are in the 75, 80 range. They remember Jim Crow real well. That didn't work that way in America. They still lynch black people. That's why they have Black Lives Matter. They still kill black folks unproportionately. You have to read. You have to Google Black history. Jim Crow. CROW. Jim Crow. Look it up. Jim Crow in America. Look it up. Do me a favor. Next time you come back on here live, do some research about the black experience in America, and then you'll understand where I'm coming from a little bit better. Because I don't think that a lot of people get the misconstruction that black and white is the same in how it's treated. It is not. It is not. Now Ted, I wish Ted was on here. Ted's younger, but Ted got stories for you too. Of course I do. Of course I do. What do you think? Do you saw George Floyd? Did you see George Floyd? If you saw George Floyd, say yes or no. Did you see George Floyd? Yeah, well, that happened what year? What year did it happen? What year? And it happened in 2020 in Minneapolis, Minnesota. That was only 4 years ago. And you wanted to know that the cops go out to black folks unfairly. That was only 4 years ago. And that happened because a young girl, young woman now happened to have the video recorder. If she didn't have that tape, his murder would have been unnoticed. I hope that answers some of your questions. That's what we've had to deal with over here in this country, over in America. No, it's we dealt with that a lot. We dealt with that a lot. Look up Emmett Till. Emmett Till. Look him up. Emmett Till was a young man that got falsely accused of whistling at a white woman and got lynched in the 50s. This is when my parents, this is when my parents were teenagers. They've had an Emmett Till day. They never brought the woman to justice who lied, white woman. She died in an old folks home last year. She lied too. They never brought her to justice. Look it up. When you ask me about stuff, I can go from yesterday to today. Well, yeah. 100 years ago, Tulsa Massacre. Read about the Tulsa Massacre. Tulsa, Oklahoma. Read about it. Black Wall Street. Read about it. Tulsa, Oklahoma. And then there was another massacre in the 40s in Florida. Read about it. So you need to know about these places. If you want to understand where I'm coming from, read about these places I'm telling you. They both had massacres. Tulsa, Oklahoma in 1921. There's 2 black folks still living from there. And see if I can find this other one. Rosewood. Oh yeah, Rosewood. Rosewood in Florida. Look it up. So yes, there are. Okay, I'll address that in just a second to you. Feel free to tell Dutch about the racism in America because I feel like I have to go on to this. Yes, there are. Because the police have been the biggest culprits. Thank you. Thank you very much, Ted. Tell me about Rosewood. There was a movie about that 25 years ago with Ving Rhames. Yes, I have. I heard about Akon trying to buy something for the electricity. So we had a water issue in America, in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Dirty water. Black Mirror didn't think much about it. Steve Harvey made a tacky turkey joke about it. And in the water situation in Mississippi. We have all that. Calipari. Well, what do you expect Calipari to do? He feel like he shouldn't have been fired. Yeah, I went through that when I lived in the South in America. Had to buy water. What I'm trying to tell you is a lot of stuff you experience is what we experience too. It's just that you don't think about it because they promote America as this melting pot, and you got the money, but that don't mean they don't run at you. Funny. That's the difference. We go through stuff too. But yeah, Calipari, I'm not surprised though. Well, you see, Dutch, when I was coming along, my grandmother used to talk to me about stuff, okay? And you had to learn stuff. You had to learn it because it was real raw. Okay, well, if you get a chance to look up the Rosewood in Florida, look up Tulsa, Oklahoma, look all that. Well, yeah, but that's America. You don't know, you'd be surprised. And people be thinking that it's like that for everybody. All right, man, take it easy. Peace out. Thank you for coming through. Yeah, you'll see that we weren't that far removed from one another. You too. Peace out. All right, anybody still on? Anybody still on? I'm just gonna check the roll call. Get a couple of minutes. If I don't see nobody say nothing in the next couple of minutes, I'll call it. Okay. Ray Allen. I like Mitch, but his handles was nice and everything. But Ray was more. I said Ray was like a better version of Reggie Miller. He could move and rotate. But Mitch was nice though. Mitch is underrated though. Told you Harding because of the beard, because he drew more attention to his free throws and his step. He made himself into something. When you can come off being a six-man role player and you make yourself into a great starter, league MVP, and picked as one of the best. Kobe worked hard. Kobe was a better player. But you're asking me with the bag, Kobe never could get to the free throw line like Harden. I mean, Harden was a sight to see, and he scored crazy. I gotta say Bird, because he can move well with and without. Gervin's whole thing was predicated on the rock. He was incredibly offensively gifted. But Bird beat you with head shakes, moves, in without rotate. He just hustled. So I had to give him that for the bag. I had to give him that. This is tough. This is tough. It's a slim margin that I got to say Hakeem because of the footwork. That's the only reason. It's the foot. It's by the feet. That's why. Other than that, it's a pick 'em. Yeah, if it wasn't, but it's close for me because it really comes down to the footwork. Because Jokic does everything else at a high level. I mean, he's a better top of the key where he dictates the flow. Hakeem didn't have it like that, but I give him because of the footwork. That's the thing. He's a better defensive player in the footwork, but the footwork is all he's really got over him on offense. The shake and bake, but the footwork. But Jokic he beats you so many ways that it's freaky. I mean, if he wins a chip this year and he gets another Finals MVP, he moves up near the top 5. So that's how big this year is for him. Well, do tell me what Super Chat is. Because if I don't even know, why don't you tell me? And you're going to come out the blue and ask me why I don't have something. So tell me what it is. All right, rock and roll. This is a great question. One of my favorite musicians. He played with Miles Davis. And of course, when him and Reggie Lucas did a lot of production for a lot of stuff I like. When I worked with Phyllis Hyman, worked with Donna Hathaway, Roberta Flack. And I loved his interviews. He was a together cat. Yes, I do. Do you not watch this chat? If you did, we talk basketball all the time. Oh, I don't know how do I do that. Did you want to make a donation? I do have my personal YouTube channel. I'd have to have the thing installed. And I haven't gotten it yet. Is that what you were trying to say? I'd have to figure that out. I haven't even done that yet. I didn't think nobody even wanted to add nothing to it because I never had anyone say they wanted to donate any money. So I never did it. I don't even know. I haven't even heard anything. I have to look that up. Okay. Well, the problem was with the animal, which I did have you struck by you was my joint. But I didn't really pay Barkade's albums no mind after. No, I didn't. I didn't pay Barkade's albums no mind after 84, 85. Because when it became more synthesized groove, I just didn't really flip with them like that. I still love them though, but my Barkade's, I don't know. Somebody fill me in about JoJo Sawani. I don't know. The people I don't keep up with. Okay. It might be, but again, my Barkade's best era stuff was in the 70s, early 80s. I'll take your word for it. I probably listen to it. But I didn't remember hearing nothing from the record that I really liked. And had he been working with them, say like in 80 to about 82, I probably would have taken it more seriously. Well, I don't know. Most of them do. There's probably more money for her in it too, so I wouldn't be surprised. You know, they switch up when there's money involved. I do have a PayPal Mr. Max though too. Mr. Max. It's a PayPal me, Mr. Max. So one of my name. So in the Cash App. Y'all see it now. So y'all see it now. So y'all see it now. So y'all see it now. Who's winning it all? What are you talking about? As far as basketball? Who's winning it all? What are you talking about? As far as basketball? Who's winning it all? What are you talking about? As far as basketball? Who's winning it all? What are you talking about? And I do have the Cash App on my thing too. Somebody was talking about it. I do have the Cash App on my thing too. Somebody was talking about it. I do have the Cash App on my thing too. Somebody was talking about it. So somebody was whatever they're going on. So somebody was whatever they're going on. How do you record start play that song for me? And the first thing that came out of my mouth was that the Barker. Sounds like Prince. Sounds like Prince. Alan E. Jones, who was their producer, used to do sounded like Alan E. Jones, who was their producer, used to do sounded like songs for whatever was happening in R&B. So when you so if you listen to a lot of Barcade songs back then, they do sound like R&B hits. So sound like Rick James, Prince, Michael Jackson, Roger and Zapp, Michael Jackson, P Funk, Roger and Zapp, Cameo, P Funk, Slave, Cameo, Cool in the Game, Slave, Crusaders, Ohio Players. That was one of the things they always used to do. Ohio Players. That was one of the things they always used to do. Ohio Players. That was one of the things they always used to do. Let me see what else I'm getting here. So, Denver Nuggets as far as basketball. So, Denver Nuggets as far as basketball. So, Denver Nuggets as far as basketball. So, Denver Nuggets. Yeah, I just checked out the thing now. It says 3 people watching. Yeah, I just checked out the thing now. It says 3 people watching. Yeah, I just checked out the thing now. It says 3 people watching. Yeah, I just So yeah. But anybody what someone was talking about. But anybody what someone was talking about. No, I'm tired from nothing. I'm just chilling. No, I'm tired from nothing. I'm just chilling. But the Denver Nuggets is what I said. Yeah, well, they were. You're thinking about because of Larry Dotson. You're thinking about because of Larry Dotson, the lead singer of the Barcades. Larry Dotson. And vocally, Rick James got a lot of him vocally. But they were using what was happening musically. But they were using what was happening musically to get radio play. To get radio play. That's how it works to get played. I'm not going to answer them questions. You got questions about you're asking about things that pertaining. I'm not going to discuss nothing about age and nothing like that. Not going to discuss nothing about age and nothing like that. We're just going to ask the questions about general. We're talking about music, sports, politics, racial. Will depend on what country you're from, things of that nature. Will depend on what country you're from, things of that nature. If anybody wants to donate something, there it is on the Cash App. There it is on the Cash App. Other than that, I'm not going to get into anything that doesn't pertain. So I'm not going to get into anything that doesn't pertain. So but feel free. But feel free. Feel free. I think it's because I got the volume on. That's what's up. So now I'm on. I got my video camera retrieved, and then I'm back on here talking. So that's all. But anyway, I turned that part off. I've been on almost 2 hours, so I'll talk for a while longer. It's not echoing anymore though. Yeah, I turned it off because I'm rotating myself on two different streams. So yeah, I turned it off because I had just decided to see what that. No, I'm not. If you keep on with stuff, I'm not old like that. You got something to say it. If you don't, I'm going to take you off. And I don't hardly look like no 59, so that's not even funny. You look at my jawline, that's not 59. People be trolling too much. That's why it's tough to go live, because people be trying to say stuff that ain't even true. Okay, well, we're going to be done with this thing real quick. Done with this crap. Anyway, let's see if we got anybody else coming through. Just listening. Just listening. Hmm. Okay, I guess that might be it. Let me see something. Just waiting to see if I see anything. Okay. The camera rolling kind of different with the time, so we're gonna see what's like a delayed thing. Just find a way to stay relaxed, though. That's all. Okay. I think I'm gonna close it tonight. I haven't really found anybody else coming through. So appreciate everybody that came through. Appreciate the questions. Thank you for stopping by. Please stay safe, stay warm, be careful out there, protect yourself. If no one else coming through, I'm gonna give it a couple more minutes and then we're gonna call it a night. Because I don't want to be here if no one's not gonna come here. Get about another minute and a half. Saw some things, so it's all good. You know. So just kind of looked up and down just to see what was up, but anyway. I think that's gonna be about it for now. So again, like I said, appreciate everybody coming through. Glad to see people have comments, questions from parts of the world. Please be safe, be careful out there till next time we catch you. Appreciate you. And again, thanks for the regulars that show the support. And I'll be back again. All right. Gonna call a night in just a second. Peace and the best of them out. Thank you.